Kia ora, e te whanau. I know it's been a while since you've seen me, and clearly a lot's been going on. I have just been really busy preparing for my koro, my grandfather's unveiling. And that's not just physically, on a physical level, but on a spiritual and emotional level. It's been a lot for all of my whānau. Also, I had a second cousin, though my mum's first cousin, his unveiling as well. So I needed to prepare my home so that his whānau, his direct whānau, could stay in my house while we went to my grandfather's unveiling. So lots of physical stuff going on, lots of home maintenance things that we've needed to do. So just been really busy with that. I have still been doing healings. I've still been doing readings, and Wairua is coming through really strong, so a lot stronger. It's, like anything, as you practice more, as you learn different ways to explain things, it really strengthens that muscle. So I've had a lot more connection with a lot of different layers. Like I said, no matter where I tap into, whether it be Balinese shamanism, whether it be even a little different elements of religion, Kabbalah, the cosmos, Māori, the Māori concepts around just all that is, the more I align, and I guess, that kind of makes sense being Māori. There is nothing in there that doesn't align with my inner knowing. So every time something comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes 100% sense, like how the trees have life, how the trees have, and when I say life, I mean like they've got a frequency, an energetic frequency where they talk to each other and they connect with you. It's loads of things. So I don't want to get too far into that, because some people are watching this and they don't understand all of those layers. And I don't want to, freak you out and be like, there's so much more, because, you'll get there. You'll get there when you're ready. So pretty much today, I just wanted to do a video to just say hi. And I'm going to be posting more. And I also just wanted to talk into with my experience with having my grandfather passed over. Yesterday we went and sat out on the reef in Haratonga. So Haratonga is Kennedy's Bay. So Haratonga is the original name. Clearly Kennedy's Bay is the name that the Europeans named it when they started doing their thing. I think it was when they were trading or whatever. Anyway, so we sat out on the reef. My husband didn't know, but I wanted to sit with Granddad. It was just last weekend that we did his unveiling of his headstone. And it's a lot for me to have that physical that finalization of that chapter, and the formal concepts. And so we sat out on the reef, and because it was busy last weekend, right? We had whānau, we had all of our family around, which was wonderful. But we had all of them around, and so it wasn't really a time to be able to be still. We're on the marae, we're having to cook and clean and see everybody and try and spend time with people in such a short space. It was a lot. So yesterday, we sat out on the water. It was rough. It was there was no fish. It was funny. But we had made a kai. We cooked up on the boat. My children had a good feed. My husband had a good feed. And then I just needed that time to just sit and honor my grandfather. And so then my husband caught one fish. Trust me, it was so choppy and so not nice. But then he caught that fish, and I knew, okay, we can go now. And so this is what I'm trying to talk into, is the connection to source, connection to spirit, connection between the realms, right? So that was beautiful. That was my tohu. Then this morning, I was thinking about Granddad again. And I think about my grandfather a lot because I love him, and also because he's one of my main spirit guides. So he talks to me a lot. Right. And so anyways, I was thinking about him this morning. I had these memories of when I used to make him coffees. I would make him coffees and he'd say, oh, where's my little design? And where's because he was always so impressed with my coffees, but that was his way of kind of bringing me down a peg. You could do a design, like they do in the cafes. And I'm like, wait, just drinking coffee. And so this morning when I was thinking about him, and I look into my cup and I'll put a photo up, and there's a heart. I just poured it. I don't know how to do this, guys. I don't know. I'm not that kind of gal. I'm like, a coffee's to be drunk, not to look pretty. Although I do appreciate a pretty coffee when the other girls do it. But yeah, it's not thinking that at this morning at 7:30 in the morning when I'm making my morning coffee. But I did this morning. And I did when I saw that heart. And again, that's a tohu for me. That's a sign that he's with me. And that he wants me to know that he loves me, and that he appreciated us sitting there thinking of him and just having a kai with him, having food with him. So, I think as we, and this is for those that have lost people that they love deeply and they miss them. Like I was talking to an auntie of mine who I was doing a reading for the other day, and I said, we must remember our loved ones as the healthy version of them, not the version of them where they were unwell, not the version of them where they were struggling or where they were all that. You need to think about them as the version of them in their full health, because that's when they can come through as that version, and that's when they can bring that energetic frequency through. So when I think about my grandfather, sometimes I'll think about him, and as I'm looking into spirit realms now, he stands there, but he's in his 20s. He's this really strong, wild redhead, and I've never met him then, right? I was a non-existent then. So what I'm trying to say is that I see him like that, which means that when he comes through to me, he can still come through to me as my koro, as the koro that I know, but the main energetic frequency that comes through is his young, strong self, where he's able to be powerful and impactful and all of that. So when you start understanding the spiritual connections between the realms and how we can bring them as their best versions of themselves, it means they can come through more. What I want for everybody is to be able to tap into this. And the more you look for those signs and synchronicities, the more you talk to them as if they're still here. And I don't mean go around having a conversation with yourself, unless you want to do that. I mean in your mind, in your third eye, in your mind's eye. You want to be thinking, are you there? Or even you can speak it, if no one's around and that makes you feel more comfortable. I would do it when no one else is around, because you don't want anybody else to foo-foo you. And when I say that, I mean like to talk it down, because then that then gets into your mind and then it creates blocks. So what you want to do, and to strengthen that muscle first, so that when other people do that, because they still will. I mean, people will do this. People will do it on here. Kia ora. That's you and that's just me. You get to the point where you're so resilient against it that you're like, oh, that's okay. I understand. I would think that too. If I didn't have this gift, or if I wasn't tapped into my gifts, I would probably be like, oh, that's weird. I remember when Dolores Cannon came out with her mahi, and I was listening to her stuff, and it was stuff that I knew in my mind, but I was like, oh, you're not supposed to be saying this stuff, but it was still oh, this is odd. Or when I would listen to light language, and I'd be like, oh, this is a weird feeling, but it was, and it was funny, and I was like, oh my God, why are people doing that? This is such an odd thing, but it's something that I used to do when I was a kid, and I remember doing it. And so it wasn't that I thought, ugh. It was something that was because I was programmed to think I wasn't allowed to do that. Because when I would do that, other people would come in and be like, oh, why are you doing that? Don't do that. Like my cousins or my family or my, whatever, because they were trying to protect me from the outside world, So what I'm trying to say is you need to build that muscle up first before you start sharing it with the rest of the world, because then once you know, and I mean, trust me, I know, and I've even said to my husband, I'm getting really good now because I don't need his validation anymore. But I used to say to him, honey, do you think it? And he'd be like, babe, you can't make this stuff up. I've seen it over and over and over again. You have proved yourself over and over and over again. You're not making it up, So but what I'm trying to say is that the programming can be so strong that even with those confirmations and those synchronicities, you still go, oh no, that was a consequence. Oh no, that was this. Oh no, that can't be right. You're still going to question yourself, but you'll get there. They just want you to just keep it as a sacred space for yourself for now. And then eventually you'll be able to just be like, boom, like my husband doesn't even need to say a full freaking sentence. And I can see it in my third eye, my mind's eye. He's like, oh, that thing down the road there? And I'm like, well, most people wouldn't, honey, but yes, I do, because I can see it in my third eye, And he's like, huh? I'm like, oh, right, yeah. And, it's funny because I think about that with my family, a lot of my family, actually, because we're all matakiti. They just, some tap into it, some don't, some know, and they go, oh, I just don't want to do that. And that's their choice, Nobody's forced into this. You do what makes you comfortable with where you're at this time, space, and reality. You got to remember, we're all of our souls are on a different hikoi. Not everyone's on the same path. So we're on a different walk. We all have our own walk. So you can't expect other people to do what you do with what you do. You might say, oh, but we both can do that. Why wouldn't you do that? Because that's not what they want to do. And that's totally cool. We respect everybody for where they are and where they're at. What I'm trying to say is a lot of the time with my family, we don't even finish our sentences because the other one already knows what they're going to say. It's like telepathy. And that's what I was trying to say when I talk about my grandfather and I talk about that knowing with him. He used to say, like you say, he's spiritual. No, not spiritual at all. didn't believe in it, you know? So it's like, oh, ooh, so what happens when you die? Oh, lights out, it's done. Oh, that can't be right. That's what I used to say to him. But anyway, that was his beliefs, and you know, it's definitely not now. Not that he's passed over. Oh, he's trying to say right now, well, there is definitely an element to that of truth. So, and what he's saying is, because it does, it goes, the lights go out, dim, but life goes on. It's in a different form. And the all that is. He's showing me like being in space. So it's like you're in space, lights go out, and then you awaken. Anywho, back to what I was saying. And they're taking over, and now I've forgotten what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, telepathy. So, you know, all of us actually being able to actually have that kōrero with each other without even saying a word. You know, whether it be, you know, like energy-wise, where you feel someone else's energy. You know, they come in the room, and you're like, oh, something's not right here. You know, like, you're right there, bro, you know. And that's just by the way that they're forced before they even walk into the door. You know, it might be aggressive, or it might be, or they walk in and you're like, oh, you know, something feels, you know, is that person all right? Like, just why do I feel that way? I just deeply feel that way, you know, and there's a lot of grief there, you know. So that is telepathy as well. So when we talk about telepathy, it's not like, you know, I'm having a kōrero with you and everything that you're saying is, you know, you don't have to speak kind of thing. It's an energetic frequency where you're reading their energy, you can feel their energy, and it's a knowing, right? So there are many different ways around telepathy. Telepathy is going to be coming up a lot more, whānau. This is something that is definitely that we are tapping into as a collective. So I just want everybody to, you know, like, open up a little bit to that, allow that in. Do not resist anything. We resist, persist, and that can be in the negative context. So if you try really hard, then you're going to continue to try, right? If you force something, you're going to continue to have to force it. So what we want to do is we want to allow, be still, and it will come in baby steps. It won't be like, boom, oh my God, I'm hearing voices. No, and that's not what this is either. It's not about hearing voices, you know. You might have some strong spirit guides that will come through and you can hear them. But again, it won't sound like, it won't sound like negative. So that's something I want to talk into too. When you do have your spirit team come through, it's not negative. It's not like, oh, you need to go get that person, That's the case. You got an entity, get the fuck out, you know. I call upon my spirit team with the highest light and resonance. Please clear away any negative entities that are latched onto me right now. I replace that with my own soul's light, and I repair any tears that have allowed that to come through, and any blockages that's weakening my auric field, right? So that's something you can say. It should be, if you do, like, so it's like the vibration like comes up higher. It's lighter. It's a pure form. It's like more of a euphoria, you know? So like, why don't you try this? Have you thought about this? You know, and like, you'll be like, oh, I wonder why I didn't do this. Oh, maybe I should go and do this. And it's not like, I'm a dopey thing, but it's like just more ease, grace, and flow. It's more of that kind of thing. Like, you have the option to do this if this is what you want to do. And I have the option to do this if this is what I want to do. Oh, that might be quite nice. You know, so it's like seeds being planted, because your spirit team is there to help you with, give you options. You have free will to choose whichever one you want to choose. They're just there to guide, right? And if you're in danger, you might get vroom. It might be like a zoom, like an energetic, I don't want to do that. And so when you do that, listen to that. Don't go, oh, that's stupid. Why would I do that? Oh, no, I'm going to go anyway. Because how many times have I done that in my lifetime? You go, I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to just see what that is, you know? And if it softens, and if it's like, oh no, I can do it this way, then all it was a little warning. Look out. Be on your toes. It's not necessarily like you are in danger. Do not go there. You'll notice a difference, because it's like, boom, like a boom, you're in danger. Don't do it. All your instincts will light up. And sometimes you can even feel it like it goosies over your body, right? Kind of was like that. Oh my God, extreme. Anyway, majority of the time, it's all love, light, and high frequency. And just to try and help to like kind of, they're there to support and total. They're there to help you through. Some little bits for you today, guys. There's so much more. I've always got so much. And what I've decided is, which has been really good, being around my whānau over the last week, is there's a lot that I know, and there's a lot that I need to share, this lifetime and past lifetimes trauma that I brought in. And as I work through my stuff, it opens me up more to be able to share more with you guys. And so what I'm trying to say is I've worked through some stuff, and I'm so ready to share so much with you all. and help you guys in your ascension process, because we're all on it, guys. We're all on it, and it's really exciting. It's a really, really exciting to be incarnated on Earth. You know, it's fun. This is lots of fun. We can use all of ourselves. So it's about reconnecting to all of ourselves and all that is. Just watching just how amazingly powerful and incredible we are as co-creators with Source. All right. Lots of love, lots of light, lots of all the beautiful things that we all deserve. Peace out.